Thank you, young lady. And we are on to Legal Line here on WPSD Local 6 Midday. Glad to have you along, and we're glad to welcome in Tara Swanson of the Bryant Law Center in Paducah. If you have a legal question, give us a shout at 1-888-208-6946. And we are sort of wondering, COVID-19 has changed everybody's life. There's no doubt about that. But what has it changed within the court systems? How do they operate differently these days, Terrace?
Well, there's been a ton of changes in most people's line of work, but that's especially true in the court system. Things are starting to get back in action. There have been a few trials here in Kentucky, and there's one recently in Ohio, jury trials. So they are starting to try to seat juries again. They're scheduling court hearings, but there are changes to that. If you're on jury duty, or if you're a witness in a trial, or a defendant or a plaintiff or anything, you will be required to wear a mask. So anytime you have to go to the courthouse for any reason, make sure you have that mask with you. They're taking temperatures. They are seating people 6 feet apart. There's been some issues with, attorneys thinking, well, how are we going to seat a jury with people wearing masks and having to be separated? And so trying to be creative, trying to figure out how to do that. If you have a court hearing, a lot of those are being done virtually as well. So either by Skype or by Zoom. It really depends on what judge you're in front of as to what platform they're using, but that's happening a lot as well. Some people are worried about not being able to use that technology or not having access to it, and you can still appear in person, but it's kind of semi-in person in that you show up to the courthouse and they'll have a video monitor there for you to use, and so you're not actually in front of the judge will be in a different location. So if you don't have access to that technology, you still can, go forward with your case.
Steve wants to know, is COVID-19 going to delay his car wreck settlement? He knows that there are changes within the court system, like you just said, but he wants to know, is there any way that he can find out how long the backlog is? Who can he call?
Well, there's no exact way to know how long the backlog is. If your case has already been set for trial, it's likely that it's going to get bumped quite a bit. Civil trials are getting put behind criminal trials. Criminal trials right now are getting first priority. It depends on what court system your case is going to have to be filed in and what judge it's in front of to know, how long it's going to take. If your case is not going to trial, it may not affect it at all. The insurance company may still be on top of your case. It just depends.
Does this COVID-19 at all affect the statute of limitations? Because I know in filing certain, certain cases, that's what I'm trying to say. Does this affect the statute of limitations at all?
There have been some states that have issued temporarily tolling of statute of limitations for certain types of cases. So I can't say broadly yes there is or no there isn't. It depends on what type of case it is and what state you're in. There have been some tolling, but you need to definitely contact an attorney about that. As always, contact an attorney as soon as possible so that you don't lose any of your rights.
And we are out of time for the first half of WPSD's Local 6 Legal Line. I see we have a business question regarding hiring a plumber and a dispute over charges. We're going to pose that question to Mark Bryant. He'll be up next on the next session of WPSD Local 6 Legal Line. So stick around. That's coming up straight ahead right after the break on WPSD Local 6 Midday.